Hi Math Group 1, this is Mrs. Nelson. We are going to do the We Do. So you need to grab a pencil and some notebook paper, take notes, write your name on the paper, and turn it in. Once you're done with this video, you turn it in, and then you can do your teacher work and then move on to the next steps. Alright, so grab your pencil, grab your notebook, pause the video, and we will get started. So, you're going to take your piece of paper and you're going to write 36 above a T-chart. Then you're going to write on the side prime or composite, because we are going to find all the factor pairs of 36. Now remember, we don't look for the flip-flops because we've already written them. If you write them twice, it just takes a lot more time. So do know that your factor T-chart or your factor rainbow goes both directions. Okay, so when you write it once, an equation once, an expression once, you don't have to write its flip-flop. Please don't do that. It takes a lot longer. All right, so 36. We know that we have to always start with the very first number, which is going to be 1. That's our first factor. And we know that we have to multiply that. And what do we multiply 1 by to get 36? Well, we know that 1 multiplied by any number gives you that number. So 1 is always our starting point. Okay, so then we have to decide, is 2 going to be a factor pair? Is 2 one of the factors to equal 36? So if I wrote here 2, let's take a look and see. So we're going to go to our multiplication chart and take a look. So hold on. So we have our handy dandy multiplication chart, and you will notice here that it has several things on it. So we're looking for 2. So I'm going to go along and I'm going to highlight 2 and I'm going to decide, do I see 36 anywhere in here? Yes, I do. I do see 36, and it happens to be the factor of 18 and 2. So then when I come down here and I pop up my chart, I'll be like, oh yes. So 2 times 18 gives me 36. Because if you look back over here, it is 36, 2 times 18. So now I want to look and see, does 3 work? So I'm going to see if 3 works. So I'm going to click on 3, and let's go back to 3 and see if 3 works. Okay, so we're going to go to 3. We're going to look at 3, and then we're going to come across and see if 36 does work. Right here with 12. So I know that 12 times 3 is a factor pair. So I'm going to pop back here and write times 12. Okay, so now I'm curious, does 4 work? I'll write that in a different color. So does 4 work? Well, let's take a look. We're going to hop back over here, take a look at our multiplication chart, and go to 4. So we're going to start with 4. We're going to run, oh, it does. We run into 36 at 9. So 9 is a factor pair of 36. So 4 times 9 is a factor pair. So we're going to keep going here. I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller so I can keep going. Okay. So 5, we already know that 5 does not, 5 will not work because 5 counts by 5. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That will never work. If you want to prove it, we can go over here to the factor chart. 5 goes to 35. There is no 36. That does not work. So then 6, will 6 work? Well, I'm assuming that 6 will work because we have, go over here, so 6 times 6 is 36. So if we go to our factor tree, we'll go 6 all the way over to 36. It is a square. Perfect. There you go. It is going to work as a factor pair. So yes, 6 times 6 is 36. Remember, don't write the 5 because it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually change that so it completes correctly. So we know that 6 works and 6 works. Okay, so now let's continue on to see if 7 will work. So 7, if we come down here, we have 7 to 30. Nope, 7 doesn't work. Does 8 work? 8 does not work. 9 works. 9 works, but if we go back here, we already have 9 up here. 9 is already right here. So the 9 times 4 that's over here, 9 times 4, which is over here, is a flip-flop to this one right here. So that's a flip-flop. 9 times 4, we already have 4 times 9, which is right above here. So that's a flip-flop, and we don't want to do that. So we found all of the factor pairs. These are all of the unflip-flop factor pairs in this entire factor pair. So we know that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factor pairs, 5 factor pairs. And this makes it composite because there are more than one factor pair. If it was only 1 times 36, it would be prime. But it has more than 2 factor pairs. So it's going to be composite. All right. So moving on here, we are going to round numbers. So there's our number that we are going to round, and we're going to round to the nearest 100. So the number we have underlined is the digit we are going to round to, and we're going to do get help. All right, so 6, we'll look to 3 and ask 3 for help. 3 is weak. 3 cannot help 6. Cannot help 6 because he's weak. So 6 cannot change. 6 will stay the same. 4 doesn't care. 3 and 8 bounce because 8 was following 3. So our number here is 4,600. It rounds down. Okay. Writing a new number. And the number we're going to round is this guy. All right. So we look at it, and 9 asks 1 for help. Now remember, 1 is weak. Weak cannot help push 9 to a bigger number. If the number is weak, it cannot help make 9 bigger. Okay, so 9 stays the same. 7 doesn't care because he's not asking for help. He's happy. And 1 bounces. 3 leaves because he was just following 1. So this one rounds down. Okay, let's work on some subtraction. Please write this. Okay, so we start from top to bottom. So we'll subtract those first, top to bottom. We start from top to bottom. So 4, if I have 4, I can not take 9 away. So I have to borrow. But there's nothing in the tens place to borrow. So I gotta go to the hundreds place to borrow. And I'll take 1 away from it. And I will give it to the 0 and it becomes 10. But after that, I can borrow from the 10 and it becomes a 9. And I give it to the 4 next to the 4 and it becomes 14. So now I have 14 minus 9 is 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer is going to be 65. Okay. Make sure you practice this. This is a borrow to borrow. It's extremely one of the hardest things that 4th graders usually have to do. but you should be fluent at it. Questions, concerns, let me know. Go get your teacher work. Go do your teacher work. If you would like to have any free time today, once you turn in your teacher work and I've seen it and I approve of it, meaning you did it, you have worked hard on it, there's no missing work, then you and I can talk about perhaps some free time. All right. I will see you on the next video.